I became a freelancer because I wanted freedom, and I'm sure you can relate to that. But what first started out as an escape from the traditional 9 to 5 with 8-hour workdays quickly turned into 12-hour workdays, 7 days a week, filled with stress and anxiety. And the worst part was I had barely anything to show for it. I was struggling, but that didn't last forever. And eventually, I built my freelance business to $15,000 per month and started traveling the world. And so in today's video, I wanna walk you through the 5 habits that I have that allowed me to go through that massive transformation. Habit number 1 is having the discipline to do outreach every single day. You see, lead generation is the lifeblood of any business. And when I was first starting out, I was getting all of my leads by doing cold outreach. I was making hundreds of cold calls, sending hundreds of cold emails, and submitting hundreds of Upwork proposals. And I genuinely believe this is the most important habit you can have if you're just starting out. Because without leads, you don't make any sales. And without sales, you have no business. And this is 100% discipline, right? Like doing 50 to 100 cold calls every single day for months and months sucks. It's the worst. There's no getting around that. But if you can have the discipline to do those 50 to 100 pieces of outreach per day, I guarantee you'll start to see some success. And habit number 2 is saying yes. And let me explain what I mean by that. Well, a lot of times, very frequently when I was first starting, I would get offered projects that might have been a little bit outside my comfort zone, or I wasn't 100% certain how I would deliver the project for that client, but I would say yes anyways. And that habit has been so crucial for me. And it's really developed the belief that I have in myself that I know I'll either find a way to make that project happen, or worst comes to worst, I'll just give the client a refund. But having this habit of saying yes has really allowed me to grow and grow outside of my comfort zone, and taking on more and more projects has just undoubtedly allowed me to scale quickly. And habit number 3 is a classic. It's investing in myself and my business. And this has come through for me in a few different lanes. Number 1, I submitted hundreds and hundreds of Upwork proposals and spent hundreds of dollars to do that before I even signed my first client. And when I did, he only paid me $60, which obviously that isn't a very good return. But having that positive review eventually allowed me to sign another client who paid me $1,600 per month. But I never would have gotten that if I hadn't made the decision to invest in Upwork proposals and really go all in. The other way this has come true for me is by investing in my own knowledge. And really, whenever I ran into a problem in my business that I didn't know how to solve, I would try and buy the solution to it. And I would do that in the form of books, courses, consultations, masterminds, mentorships. I would do anything I could to try and buy the solution to the problem that I was currently facing. And although a lot of the times this didn't work out, maybe I bought a horrible book, wasted hours reading it, bought a horrible course or whatever else, the few key times that it did work out, I got a 100x on my investment. And that habit of investing in myself and my business goes hand in hand with habit number 4, which is taking massive action as soon as I learn new information. Now, most people spend way too much time consuming. They watch hundreds and hundreds of hours of YouTube, take hundreds of courses, and they never take that massive action. And massive action is what leads to results, right? If you know everything, but you take no action, it doesn't matter. You'll get no results. And I've just gotten in the habit of implementing as soon as I learn new information. And I don't mean like implementing tomorrow or next week. I mean, if I learn new information today, I'm going to try my very best to implement it into my business today, right? Speed is king. And having this speed allows me to learn so much quicker and ultimately scale my business quicker. Which brings us to habit number 5, which is being focused. And although this isn't really a habit and more of a character trait, it manifests in a few different ways. The first one, being focused in the micro, which is like the day-to-day. And really, this boils down to just being able to sit at a desk alone, no phone, no distractions, and do deep work for 4 to 8 hours. And I love this quote by Alex Hormozi. It says, if you can't sit still, ignore notifications, and focus on one task for 8 hours straight, never expect to build something great. And while most of you probably aren't trying to build a business that does hundreds of millions of dollars per year, the same principles apply. If you can't sit down and do deep work for hours on end, you'll never succeed. The second part to this is being focused in the macro, which is the big picture. There are so many entrepreneurs or freelancers who struggle with impulse control and end up with like 4 businesses or one business that offers like 25 different services. And I never had a problem with that. I pretty much always got all my clients from Upwork, and I pretty much only ever offered 2 main services, social media management and paid ads. And by staying focused on those 2 core services, I was able to get pretty good at them. And I was able to deliver some pretty good results for my clients and retain them for a lot longer of periods as I would have if I had offered every service under the sun. So with that being said, that's all I've got for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.